floor is yours. Now, distinguished participants, thank you very much. And I would like to thank Tuesday for giving me the opportunity. Well, why did I do such a trial? I'm a mother of a gifted child. By the way, I'm an associate professor in Sabahattin Zaim University. In Milsam or in foundations such as Tuesday, our children receive education, but this is the common concern for parents. If education is a holistic concept, and if that's the case, just like we give them the education, we need to enrich their cultural, moral, and social dimensions. But in the educations or in the education institutes where we receive the services, I saw we can't actually find many opportunities. I just wanted to look at the lines of research conducted in this respect. Values education is a very important aspect in the academic field. The reason is the technological advancements and the increasing wealth, contrary to the popular belief, is not contributing to happiness of people. On the contrary, this is alienating people, isolating them, resulting in more exploitation. As we saw a number of days ago, some people are brutally killed, and some of the world population simply turn a blind eye upon them.
Yeteneklere hangi katkıları sunabiliriz?
So we wanted to see what we can do, and we wanted to emphasize the importance of the values education. In January 2017, the new curriculum programs which were launched indicated that there is such an update so that there will be more emphasis on cultural and national values and ethics. So, if we would like to do that, we shall do something for the gifted and talented children. That's a question we need to ask as the academics and as parents. So, I scanned and went through the documents. As the limitation, first I looked at what has been done in the field of values education for gifted in Turkey, but that was rather limited. So I included the moral development, character treatment, the character education in Turkey. And I saw that since 2003, in the academic works in the gifted children, there has been a certain acceleration. And between 2003 and 2015, more than 500 presentations, 300 articles, and more than 100 master's or PhD theses. But when I look at on the basis of keywords, there are only 6 presentations, 7 articles, 1 master's thesis, 1 PhD thesis in terms of the values education, moral development, and character training. It's not only 1%, it's not even 1% of the whole academic literature in the field for gifted children. So there is little interest. So what did they cover in these 7 articles? Well, moral development, character traits and values, and They are the studies by Professor Dr. Hayati Ökelekli and Turgay Gündüz, and the importance of values education for gifted children, the role of teacher in such an education, and the students' views about the values education. But there is limited experimental studies, and they are mainly limited with the literature. Well, that set me thinking, why do we have such low number of studies? Maybe, we can increase this list, but in general I can say that research for gifted students is at a basic level. So we are actually still at the level of discussing whether gifted students should receive a separate or a distinguished education. Is that against the equality principle or not? We have departments for gifted and talented students, but as of this year, these departments were closed, and again, they would be under the title of special education departments. Shall we have special teachers? Shall we train them separately, or is it going to be one of the sub-components of special education? Because we are discussing all these aspects, we don't have time or maybe awareness for such abstract aspects, such as the values education and the morality and character development. The second reason is, generally, studies in these aspects have accelerated very recently. Because of that, the focus has been mainly on the positive sciences, and that means some of these abstract or social aspects were left out, and we have limited number of experts who are knowledgeable in both fields. When we have such limited research in Turkey, I wanted to look at the international arena to see whether they work on these subjects. Compared with Turkey, the number abroad is relatively higher. We have relation studies, or we have some experimental studies. But the values education, rather than the values education and the moral development, they are mainly using the framework of the moral development, including moral judgment, moral sensitivity, moral motivation, moral character, moral behaviors. And again, when we look at the studies abroad, moral judgment and moral sensitivity are the most frequent concepts. And within the scope of this, it has been expressed that high cognitive potentials increase moral sensitivity. There is a positive correlation between high intelligence potential and moral judgment. It doesn't signify that when they have more higher moral sensitivity or judgment, would be necessarily a warranty of displaying such behavior. That's why such lines of research have this commonality. Such individuals' existing potential should be supported. Training programs should be designed within this framework. Majority of these studies state that individuals should be supported, which would be a benefit both for themselves and for the community and society at large. Silverman says that for the transformation of societies, gifted individuals should be supported morally. And Dobrovsky says that gifted and talented children are the above ground treasures of the society, which is the title of this very specific Congress. However, we have, even though they are limited in number, I have come across such studies saying that they have their own abilities and they are going through some exclusion or alienation from the society. So we can't expect them to serve this community, but looking at the general literature, such views are rather limited. So in a nutshell, I can say that in this field, we need a lot of experimental research so that we will have our own corpus or corpora. If we don't have that, we will be relying on international literature, which won't suffice for us. Maybe only for guiding purposes we can use them. And gifted and talented children, their parents, and educators or teachers' attitude towards values education should be reviewed. The needs should be identified. The competencies of such teachers who will teach in this area will be measured, and the work should be accelerated in the field. Thank you so much for listening to me.